Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've jumped back on Elden Ring for some more invasions. I've come back onto one of my level 200 builds for this one, and this guy specialises in guard counters above anything else. We're using the curved sword talisman, which enhances guard counters. In our flask we've got the deflecting hard tier, and we've got a nice wolf crest shield there, which is good enough to guard most attacks, which allows us to do a big old splash of damage if they're willing to stand in my face and take that big hit from the guard counter. The main weapons on this one, the anvil hammer, and besides that I like to use the Malekith's black blade on occasion on this build as well. And I've also got a little fire incantation, the mesmer orb incantation there, just to pull out, try and catch him off guard. But that's it guys, it's a pretty simple build. Attack me, I'm going to block you and turn you into a pancake. Let's get into those invasions. Okay boys, so today we're using the deflecting build, the guard counter build. It's all about enticing our enemies to take a shot at us so we can block it and then come back with a big old guard counter. The anvil hammer weapon on this build is ideal for this type of playstyle, just from a visual perspective. It just looks like it's going to absolutely squash you. It's a massive big weapon. It has its downsides, as I'll talk about shortly. But you can see from this first invasion it hits really hard. Another good thing about this weapon as well, besides visually just looking the part, is the Ash of War. It hits super hard, and it's got some awesome hyper armor. So if you've got some really aggressive players that are just running at you, you can often catch them off guard because they're just going to run into you, try and poise through your own attack, but they don't realise that they're going to get absolutely squashed. And then the eruption afterwards causes some massive big spikes out the ground, which does some huge damage. A successful invasion there on the first one. You could see we busted out the mesmer's orb and we got him with a big explosion. It doesn't really have any, relevance to the build, that incantation. I just thought it was a nice little thing to add on to have a play around with. Another successful invasion there. Caught him off guard on the spawning. The Ash of War came through strong. Got us a nice win. This was actually the first build I put together after the DLC came out way back when. I really liked the idea of the guard counters, and before I got into anything too crazy with the builds, I came up with some nice little quirky builds, but the first thing I came up with was this guard counter build, so it's nice getting back to it. Like I say, the anvil hammer on this build, it's the main weapon. I do like to mix it up. As you can see now, we're using the Malekith's black blade, but the anvil hammer is the main focus weapon of the build. However, as I said a minute ago, it does have its drawbacks, one of which is that it's very slow. It's a colossal weapon, and all colossal weapons are quite slow, so it can be quite hard to finish opponents off. They can often just roll out the way because the attacks are coming out so slow, they can see the attacks coming. So what does tend to happen on this build quite often is that I'll get them low health, and then when I'm trying to finish them off, they can often buy enough time to dodge out the way, which gives the friends or their allies enough time to come in, back them up, and often ruin that chance for a kill. It's a hard build, it's not an easy build, it's a simple build in principle. But like I say, the slow nature of the weapon definitely has its drawbacks, and this is level 200, which is pretty bonkers, as I've found out quick enough coming back to Elden Ring. It's a bonkers range for invading. Everyone is doing so much damage. There's not really room for any mistakes to be made before you're just going to get absolutely blended or melted or squashed. Take your pick, it's going to happen. So it's a fun build, it's a simple build, it can be very effective, but it has its drawbacks, and at level 200 there really is no room for any mistakes. We just got a nice victory in that invasion against that duo there. You could see we was using the Malekith's black blade. It suits the build, it scales off the same stats that we're using for the big hammer. So we're getting some nice damage out of that big sword. It's a similar playstyle, it also suits the guard counters, so it's a nice little weapon to mix things up. There are a couple of other options that I could possibly use, but I like to keep my builds relatively simple when and where I can, and having 2 or 3 main weapons to switch between on each character is enough for me. You could see there the damage that guard counter just did on the summon. These two were quite a tricky invasion, you know. They was covering each other really well. They was both doing big damage. Both got 2 great swords equipped. So, you know, if I get caught in that blender, these two are going to finish me off pretty quickly. And they're both using the Blasphemous Blade as well, which creates its own challenges. As you can see now, they weren't shy to send out the Ash of War. But I just had to take my time with this one. Really try and find my moments. Like I say, you know, it can be hard to finish these players off when I get them low, especially when they're covering each other so well. So I've just got to be patient and really, really kind of look for my openings. Try and finish them off when I can. I nearly died myself there. A smidge of health left. But I managed to get a bit of space, get the heal off, and I'm still in the game. So unlucky there not to finish the host off. Again, highlighting one of the drawbacks of this build, not having a quicker weapon available. Maybe if I put some lighter armour on, I could put like a dagger or a spear in there. But we managed to get the kill. A couple of risky big hefty fire pots does the job for a really satisfying win in that invasion. Now, level 200 boys. It's crazy, it's bonkers, and it creates a lot of frustrating invasions, as you're about to see. So yeah guys, level 200, as I re-established with myself during this invasion session, yeah, it can be pretty bonkers. It's a pretty mad level range to invade at. It's something that I always did know before. As I said in my last video, I've took a little break from Elden Ring. This is me coming back after a good 7 or 8 months break. And yeah, something that I always knew, level 200 is bonkers. But this particular session, putting this video together, re-established that for me well and truly. So this next invasion now, I'd gone through quite a few frustrating invasions. I was getting smashed left, right and centre. On this one, I was determined to do everything in my power to make it work. I busted out the Mimic's Veil, I got in a nice little spot, and a long time later this happened. A nice little ambush. But you can see, you know, I still nearly get blended. But the Ash of War comes through for me there, and we managed to kill both summons in a beautiful, beautiful invasion. And there was no way I was letting this host off lightly. I'd just gone through about 5 or 6 invasions where I was just getting spammed, squashed, blended, anything you can name, it happened to me. Wizard spam, Rivers of Blood, Moonveil, it was all there, all the classics. It all came flooding back to me. And on this occasion, I just wanted some payback, and this host was having no chance. Once again though, you know, I've already said it boys, this weapon has its drawbacks, not to mention the fact that it's absolutely humongous, and I can't even see the host. Look at the state of it. Can't even see the host when I'm running after him there, it's that big. But it hits hard, and that's all that I'm bothered about. It is a bit slow, like I say, so it makes it difficult when you're chasing people down. But, you know, if you're lucky and it all goes in your favour, you can catch him out like I just did. Now, I spawned in on this one, couldn't find him anywhere, and then I looked down there and think that tree stump in the corner looked a bit suspect. So I run over to investigate. That's a summon dead, and then the horse takes a coward's way out. See you later, sunshine. Enjoy your trip down to the bottom. Absolute coward. This is the last invasion of the video, guys. I do plan on making videos longer than this one in the upcoming next few videos, but level 200 was proving to be pretty frustrating. I'm going to drop down. I think maybe I'm going to invade on my Bloody Mary build, my Blood Mage build after this one. That's level 167, so I'm going to try that and see how it feels. Then after that I'm going to drop down even lower to one of my other builds and just get a feel again for the invasion ranges. But level 200, it can be fun, but it can be very frustrating because you just die so quickly. I was lucky to survive this little corner of death here, but I managed to roll out of it. I've killed one of the summons and I'm about to kill the second summon, and then it's just going to be me and Mr. Horst left to duke it out. He likes his Ash of War spam, this guy. I was very concerned that he was just going to run into the boss room actually. Fair play to this horse for not doing that. He stood and he fought, he tried to hold his ground, so fair play to this man. But he's lost both of his friends and the end is pretty much inevitable. I'm going to let this invasion run out, guys. Let it play out. Hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you've enjoyed watching. Once again, it feels good to be back. Yeah boys, I'll see you all on the next one.